Sampras has had, let's face it, precious few moments of difficulty in this match. But he's got to serve here 4-5 down. And if he just loses a bit of rhythm or tightens up, misses a snap volley, or rafter can bring off one good shot.
Bad luck, Pat. That was a good little sequence of thinking man's tennis there. I think he should go back to blocking those return to serve and risking it with Sampras coming in, because coming up and over the ball, trying to hit it back, a fast serve with topspin, it's so difficult to time it. Get it in the middle of that racket.
Well, playing with danger there, that was close. But just a little dab of the racket, no backswings, the way to volley, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I thought he did well there, but it was just a bit high, and Sampras, nice clinical volley. Contrasting coaches. Poor old Tony Roach feeling his bones a bit there, I think.
That's 5 games all, still no break in this third set, so we could be edging towards a tie break.
5 games all.
Australians in the crowd, and rafter too. We'd better not know what the situation is in tie breaks in the modern time, because Sampras is way ahead of the list on the record of winning tie breaks.
Fairly equal for this year, though.
The rafters down at 12th in that list.
Rafters won twice as many as he's lost, 16-8 this year.
15
and Sampras roughly the same, 20-9.
Hey! Bit of magic.
Players always jump a bit, it just helps, you know. It's like leaning sideways in your car, it helps you to turn a corner. If you jump up like that, the ball does the same in sympathy.
That's
Oh, he's getting better, all right. That was quite a saucy shot from rafter. Sampras, be warned.
Lovely touch. When you get more confident, you play more confident touch shots like that. Very few of those from rafter in the match. Very good sign for him that he's got nice soft hands around the net.
Good stretch, good anticipation. Very good service game by rafter. He leads 6-5. Third set, Sampras leads 2 sets to 1. Interconnected.
Tell you something, Jerry, I don't think I've ever heard applause like that, noise, acclamation, all the way through a sitting down. I know they're doing a Mexican wave, but I think they're so in sympathy with Rafter's plight. You know, he hasn't been allowed to perform. Now he is performing. I think they're on his side here, even though, of course, Pete Sampras is an American. I honestly do. Or maybe they just want more tennis.
Sampras now for the second time got a hold of serve to stay in this set. Well, that was a bit of a let-off from Rafter. No wonder he tossed away his racket. It was a poor attempt at a pass by him. Yeah, had so much drift on it, got inside that.
Yeah, with that volley, he just put a bit of side spin on it, and that was enough to curl the ball in the air just wide. It's a very good return into the body.
Sampras' serve not quite so accurate now. Without quite the same penetration.
It's one hell of a return anyway. Not too much of a gap there. Just think if Rafter had made that first cross-court backhand in the first point, he'd now have 3 set points.
There is the hint of a sea change here.
This is very good serving by Sampras to get him out of trouble.
Yeah, 2 good serves there, and it is indeed a tie-break. Just looking at that list in front of me again, open era, that's modern times. Tie-break leaders, Sampras, I told you, is well ahead of the rest. Ivanisevic comes next, Rosetsky comes next.
I think the relevance is up there on the board right now. 16-8, twice as many won as lost. And the same for Sampras.
That's the sort of start that Rafter needs.
1-0, Rafter.
Yes, because all the tension and responsibility is now on him to save his 2 service points, and then back to Rafter.
Couple of inches, if that. Just seeing that shot of Tony Roach up there at Wimbledon when Rafter lost, it looked to me as if Roach was almost in tears.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if he wasn't. Not in the least surprised.
2-1.
So there's a real fight here. It's really been a fight all the way through this 3rd set. Good slice serve, winging away, wide of his forehand. Rafter's in front again.
Well, every point in a tie-break's big, but the further you get in the tie-break, the bigger the point. So these two are very important for Sampras.
He's beginning to miss his first serve a bit more.
Well, 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 and why do the points get bigger? Because there's less and less time to recover.
And for the first time now, just about 5 minutes short of 2 hours, you begin to think that Rafter could yet clamber back into this match. Sampras not so incisive. Rafter growing in confidence. Two-4 in the tie-break.
This is just a huge point for Sampras. He could go 2-5 down.
Four-three, Rafter.
4-3, rafter.
Sampras drawn level in the tie-break.
Well, that was the sort of return that you cannot legislate for. I mean, it was just brilliant.
4-all.
Lovely deep volley by Rafter. Sampras a little bit unlucky with the pass.
And do you know, consistently through this match, they've been so testing these volleys for Rafter. He's come through with flying colours really all the way. Now, Sampras, if he drops one of his 2 points, is going to face set point.
Yeah, he wasn't going to miss that one. That could turn the whole match. 6-4 Rafter.
Wonderful shot, logical shot, pulling it past on the forehand side.
6-4.
Here's his chance.
Rafter.
2 chances.
Thank you. Rafter.
Well, you would expect that. Now Rafter's serve.
Having a great time out there. Just the way to spend a holiday.
Thank you.
Oh, second serve. That got the Aussies going there on their feet. 7 points to 5. The match is still very much alive here. Rafter had looked so downcast for so long, but suddenly the match has changed.
Jerry, just before he did that second serve, I said, saying to myself, surely he's not going to have the guts to do a second serve into the Sampras forehand. Surely he's going to play safe and go to the backhand. But he has been faced with some very, very difficult volleys coming from the Sampras return of serve on the backhand. And I don't know, I just think it was a very gutsy decision anyway, and a very skillful one to do it so well, because he did bend it away from Sampras, and it was a perfect serve. He's earned that set, you know. I mean, he really has. They'll probably give him the Order of Australia if he hasn't already got it.
Yeah. I must say, I didn't think that Sampras played quite as incisively as he had done through the early part of the match. His first serve, it began to miss. I
Yes,
think
it did,
very
but
crucial.
Yeah, look at the accuracy of that, and look at the way it bent from right to left. Not too much, because it was a fairly fast serve. but it was an absolutely perfect serve. That'll wake Tony Roach up. And I think the whole of Australia who are watching are getting very excited now, because Rafter has got better, and that's one of the reasons Sampras is not quite as good.
Just saw a kangaroo. There you are, Bill. Been looking for them, these inflatable kangaroos.
They're probably singing Timey Kangaroo down as well.
So for Australia, all is not lost. Well, I thought that was a little bit too casual by Sampras, but he managed to get away with it. A love game as well to start the fourth set, and his serving generally, I thought, back to its snappiest.
Yes, I really don't think Rafter can expect any reduction in the ferocity and skills coming out of Sampras. Side of the net. But the very fact that he's right in the match now, Rafter, that'll be no end of a booster for him. His confidence will increase. He looks a bit frightening now with his anti-sun cream on.
It's very nearly 25 to 5, late afternoon here in New York.
Sun nearly gone too, he hardly needs it.
59.
Serving so much better of late towards the end of the third set there and now.
Yeah, that was very good. 2 successive love games, I think, what's happened here, Bill, in that third set. Pat Rafter kept hacking his way through the undergrowth, as you'd expect him to do, and I think he's come to a clearing.
Sure he has. Thinking clearly, playing beautifully at the moment. Getting those difficult volleys deep and forcing Sampras to try and pass him from way behind the baseline. Even Sampras can't achieve that all that often.
His ace count now 17.
Really beautiful the way Sampras guided that right into the corner.
3 successive love games on serve at the start of this 4th set. Sampras leads 2-1. On a drop-in grass court, we've talked about that earlier, haven't we? But the idea of growing a grass court in pallets hasn't really worked yet. It's an experimental stage, and so it's been decided rather than take a risk on a court that might break down over 3 days plus practice, they're going to play on a hard court there at Sydney. Australia against Sweden. The United States, Patrick Rafter this week has to name, or will name, his team. They're in a very different plight, the United States, because without top players like Sampras and Agassi, who apparently declined to play, the Americans have to beat India here in America, or they go down. But they will beat India, I think, don't you?
Oh, yeah, surely. I think it's appropriate just to look at Rafter's position here in this match, because he lost the first 2 sets. It's therefore appropriate to see what he's done from losing the the first 2 sets, and 5 times in his career he's come back from a deficit of 2 sets in a 5-set match. Actually, Sampras has done the same, but it's hardly appropriate for him here. It is for Rafter. So 5 times he's done it. He knows he can do it, and I also know that he must know that Sampras doesn't particularly enjoy very long matches.
That's the first point against the server so far in this 4th set. That was too close to comfort, I think, for Rafter.
Kicked right up round head height for Sampras to return that one. Need a strong right arm to play a backhand up there.
Yeah, look at the width he got on that serve. Look where to drag Sampras. Yeah, serving much, much better. Real accuracy and purpose. And that's 2 games all, 4th set. Just 1 point dropped on Rafter's serve in that game.
Well, he's become the man in black again. That's how he's performed all the way through this tournament. 2 night matches he had, which he doesn't like.
15.
Right at the start, they've both been serving and volleying. Just a few moments during the lengthy crisis that beset Rafter that he tried something else.
He holds that racket very near the end of the butt. Some players move up the handle a bit. Not him. So he's getting full purchase on the racket at the top there. Must account for some of this fantastic speed, sustained speed on serve throughout this whole match.
40-15.
Once asked him, Jerry, if he changed his grip much, forehand to backhand. He honestly said, good question, not sure really. He just does what comes naturally. Always talk about massive Western grips, and not for him.
Just the 1 point he conceded, so that was a double fault. 3-2. Sampras,
Wasn't it? All
yeah.
the water playing on Australia.
that surprised him.
Point is, there was a lot of slice on it. I'm not sure it didn't just go wide of the line. Very difficult to tell, even if they show a replay. No, he shouldn't have allowed it to affect him there. That's a shame. Gosh, he nearly swept that away. A rather angry backhand volley into the tram lines.
It's another much better service game by Rafter. Takes him to 3 games all, 4th set. The double fault, just the one blemish. How well do you recall his semi-final at Wimbledon this year against Agassi? I mean, he was never really in that match as a likely winner, wasn't he? Until just at the last minute it happened. Maybe it could happen again here.
So they say. I was doing another match, Jerry.
Love.
With points in this set scored against the server, there have been 3, 2 with double faults. Self-inflicted.
Game, sampras.
No need to make a big deal of it. It was a simple put away by Sampras.
Sampras leads by 4 games to 3.
And he leads by 4 games.
Just that Sampras was playing so sort of perfectly. Perfect Pete, they call him now, instead of Pistol Pete. Another factor creeping in here is the shadow. I always find that very, very distracting, not only for people watching on television, but for players. Because the ball comes out of the sun into the shade, and when it's coming at 130 miles an hour, that's a factor.
No breaks of serve in this 4th set, as Rafter continues his recovery. 3-4. And he continues to be the man on the up, Rafter, that is. Sampras frowning now.
His service improvement has just been astonishing. He's now serving first serve percentage of 67. Sampras 54.
Well, things are coming off now. He acknowledges that, but, you know, you take what you can get. He took a lunge at it. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen.
Well, I don't think this is any fluke. When you take a volley at full stretch like that, the racket does flatten out. You are going to turn your wrist just on the dive like that, so it turns into a stop volley. Doesn't mean to say it wasn't brilliant.
This is very, very level at the moment. And it certainly is in game score because it's 4 games all. No break of serve in the 4th set. And very much dominated by serve in both cases in this 4th set.
Thank you.
Well, they tried to go down the line several times and didn't make it. Perhaps he should have, on reflection, tried again. Clever chip return around the ankles. That's what forced Sampras to volley up. That's what induced the mistake.
That was a rather panicky volley. Bit of nerves in there. Sampras knows at this stage he's not far off having to enter a 5th set, having had total domination.
Exactly.
Situation Meunier found himself in last night against Curtin.
I was about to say the second serve has to be good, or Rafter will have a swing at it. And it wasn't just a swing. Rafter really meant that.
Absolutely. Serve wasn't bad at all. Now, for Pete Sampras, 4-all, 30-all. Represents danger signals, I think.
Yeah, these points are especially precious here. Oh, hit the tape.
40-30.
How close can you be?
Doesn't give quite enough clearance on so many of these shots. He's coming right up over the ball. There he is, practicing it. Watch his racket. Right up and over. So there's a load of topspin there. Give it height.
Well, he did it again, that chip serve, return of serve cross court, but Sampras was ready for it that time. And Sampras has a lead in the fourth set of 5-4.
5 games to 4.
Thanks. Well, Sampras comes through. That's the first game in this set, isn't it? That
Percentage tennis, go just for the shots that you have the best possible chance of making. I would have thought so, probably.
Thank you.
Rafter, after a good comeback, serving here to stay in the championship. Too long.
Block 15.
Tony Roach, no doubt thinking he didn't play his favourite cross-court backhand.
Thank you.
It's a good return. And he's close to the edge here. Is Rafter. Love 30. 4-5. 2 sets to 1 down.
Block 30.
Mrs. Sampras looks as if she's ready to start rejoicing. Hasn't counted chickens.
No nerves jangling there to play that nice soft slice serve wide. Risky but effective.
Well, that really is calamitous.
15-40.
Really is that, I mean, there's nothing much more self-destructive than that. Sampras, with Agassi waiting in the quarterfinals, has 2 match points. And it's the second serve.
Thank you.
He still goes steaming in, you know, whatever the danger. I mean, he doesn't know what fear is on the tennis court, I don't think. And there's a smile of, I reckon that's respect by Sampras.
That was a wonderful serve.
Well, you can tell by just quickly looking around the stadium that almost everybody's clapping this. And so you can see where their sympathies lie. You don't get a lob over Sampras. Look at him.
Advantage Sampras.
He's got rubber legs.
His 3rd match point. His wife looks somewhat less confident that he's going to finish the job straight away.
Thank you.
That has to be it. Surely it is now.
Game, set, match, sampras.
Yeah, and that's how Sampras rejoices, and the crowd rejoice.
2, 6, 7, 6, 4.
And you'll see, I think here, a very warm handshake, acknowledging each other's prowess, respect for each other. Right from the start, Sampras was pretty sharp, he really was. He missed very little. He's playing probably now as well as he has done for a couple of years almost. It was a long haul back for Rafter, but he's Rafter and he's used to long haul flights, and he came back and he got very, very close, but in the end not quite close enough.
No, it was just a wonderful match and a wonderful ending. I mean, it was so dramatic for different reasons all the way through the match. The main reason for a couple of sets was Sampras's sheer brilliance. Hardly a mistake of any sort. And then Rafter's fight back, as you would expect from this gutsy Australian and skillful Australian. And it was just a wonderful match. Two great players. One, perhaps the most popular player in the world, and the other one, for 10 years, perhaps the most skillful. Great match.
So Rafter possibly waving goodbye to the New York crowd for the last time. He'll be missed if he doesn't come back next year, but Pete Sampras rolls on at the US Open and some way to finish. Neil, he's not done yet, is he, Sampras? A few people were writing him off after Wimbledon this year when he lost to Federer in the 4th round, but I think he's made a statement here today that I am still around, and on my day, I'm still the man to beat.
Well, you said it all, Chris. He's definitely still around, and phenomenal display today. Just too good for Pat Rafter. I didn't think Rafter played badly at all. I thought that Sampras was just total class, out and out today.
Annabelle, Rafter didn't think. I thought he was out of it. I really did in that 3rd set, but somehow he roared back, didn't he?
Yeah, thank goodness. I mean, it took him a couple of sets to get his service games going, and then he was pretty tight right the way through that 3rd set. The standard from that 3rd set onwards was absolutely superb. So few unforced errors, and terrific net play from both guys, great athleticism, and he really took it to another level. I thought we were going to have a 5th set there, but not to be. Well,
that match pretty much encapsulating the reasons why we love this game. That's just about it from us today. The night session with Venus Williams and Marit Safin is live for you at 12 o'clock tonight. You can see highlights of those matches tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And then, as ever, we're live at 4 o'clock for day 9. Annabelle and Neil have been in exceptional
Contrasting coaches. Poor old Tony Roach feeling his bones a bit there, I think.
Game, sampras.
That's 5 games all. Still no break in this 3rd set, so we could be edging towards a tie-break.
5 games all.
Australians in the crowd, and Rafter too. We'd better not know what the situation is in tie breaks and what in the modern time, because Sampras is way ahead of the list on the record of winning tie breaks.
Fairly equal for this year, though.
Yeah, Rafter's down at 12th in that list.
If you play more confident touch shots like that, very few of those from Rafter in the match. Very good sign for him that he's got nice soft hands around the net.
Good stretch, good anticipation. Very good service game by Rafter. He leads 6-5. 3rd set, Sampras leads 2 sets to 1. Interconnected.
Really something, Jerry. I don't think I've ever heard applause like that, noise, acclamation, all the way through a sitting down. I know they're doing a Mexican wave, but I think they're so in sympathy with Rafter's plight. You know, he hasn't been allowed to perform. Now he is performing. I think they're on his side here, even though, of course, Pete Sampras is an American. I honestly do. Or maybe they just want more tenon, because coming up and over the ball and trying to hit it back, a fast serve with topspin, it's so difficult to time it. Get it in the middle of that racket.
Well, playing with danger there, that was close. Just a little dab of the racket, no backswing, it's the way to volley, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I thought he did well there, but it was just a bit high, and Sampras, nice clinical volley.
Sampras has had, let's face it, precious few moments of difficulty in this match. But he's got to serve here 4-5 down. And if he just loses a bit of rhythm or tightens up, misses a snap volley, or rafter can bring off one good shot.
Bad luck, Pat. That was a good little sequence of thinking man's tennis there. I think he should go back to blocking those returns of serve and risking it with Sampras coming in. Rafter's won twice as many as he's lost, 16-8 this year.
15-1.
And Sampras, roughly the same, 20-9.
Hey! Bit of magic.
Players always jump a bit, it just helps, you know. It's like leaning sideways in your car, it helps you to turn a corner. If you jump up like that, the ball does the same in sympathy.
That's
Oh, he's getting better, all right. That was quite a saucy shot from rafter. Sampras be warned.
Lovely touch. When you get more confident